Right then, ladies and gents, welcome to another video. This is the first ride of my Royal Enfield Himalayan 411. If you want to know why I ended up with this bike and why I chose it, you should watch my last one. It's a bit of a convoluted reason, but I didn't test ride one before I bought one. I just decided that it was the bike for me at this particular moment in time. So gather my initial thoughts with me if you wish. The bike is box stock, apart from some suspension work that the previous owner had, so it's got a rear shock and fork spring changes. But other than that, standard tyres, standard everything. We are on one of my favourite roads. Right, so I want to get to know this bike and what it's all about, because on paper, no one would buy one of these. Because on paper it's slow, it's heavy, standard can. Just riding here, it needs a little bit more noise for my taste, but that's alright. I actually appreciate it being quiet in some ways. The slow speed maneuvers on this thing are pretty easy. A lot of people that really enjoy these bikes, they talk about its low center of gravity, and you do feel that when you ride it. It doesn't feel like a 200 kilo bike. And the seat height's fairly reasonable as well. Alright, let's go, gang. Alright, look at this. Beautiful. Alright, let's give it a little rip. Enjoy this beautiful road. So I obviously have ridden the bike to this particular spot. So I've had about an hour on it so far. I do have some thoughts. Please don't kill me. One, it does not have enough power to excite you. I knew that, but what I am finding is that I'm surprised with the power delivery and how it feels and translates on the road. For this, carving up back roads, it feels great. Obviously, would more power be nice? Yes. But does it feel underpowered on roads like this? No, absolutely not. And that's not the soul that this bike has. I'm realizing, and also regurgitating because lots of people have said it, it doesn't intend to excite you with speed. But what I will say is that it does have enough power to make things exciting on a back road like this, because you know, you can get some decent momentum. It isn't eager to rev the engine. It's, if anything, the opposite, but the way it delivers that torque keeps you thumping along quite nicely. It's an interesting combination, this bike, because if you're a watcher of the channel, you'll know that I ride a Grom, and this is kind of the opposite to the Grom in many ways. But what I'm finding is that this nice long wheelbase, 21-inch front wheel, and that thumper of an engine just mean this thing is like, it's vibrational because it's a single, but it feels very solid and planted in the corners. And I think, you know, that's the inertia of the big front wheel, but also the long wheelbase. Well, I will say that big 21-inch front wheel, it does remind you that you need to you know, add a little bit more counter steer and stuff. The engine is very characterful. Pop, 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 just follow me along. Does it feel like 25 horsepower? I suppose it does, really, but it's delivered in a way that I've never really experienced with an engine. Most engines that I've had dealings with, they require a lot of revving, and it's like a race to the red line. This doesn't feel like that at all. All the meat is about 4,500 RPM, 5,000 RPM, and then it wants another gear and wants to keep cruising. I think a lot of bikes achieve their excitement through their engine, but this seems to do it as a combination of everything. I will say I do really like the mostly analog gauges. I know that's like the tripper thing, which is fairly useless from what I hear, so I'm not even going to bother trying to use it. It's nice to have analog gauges. The bike feels old, I will say that, but not in a bad way. It feels very planted, and the seat is very comfortable. The riding position for me is almost perfect, I would say. It's a very commanding, upright but comfortable riding position. and that's my favourite kind of riding position. I don't like any weight on my wrists. I like to be able to have quite a straight back. So I got to say, with the power, I'm pleasantly surprised. The initial pickup, there's kind of nothing, which is almost like reassuring in some ways, because I know that that's going to be nice off-road. So it's just a little bit beyond idle is where you start getting the torque, but initially there's kind of nothing, which gives it like a really nice soft throttle. You know, it's funny, when I initially learned about the Himalayan a few years ago, I was like, what an ugly and slow machine, why would anybody buy one? And here I am with one. So it's nice that it doesn't really have much plastic on it. It's nice that it's utilitarian. It's nice that it's basic and serviceable by yourself. It's quite an endearing machine, and from what I've read, watched and heard, it's one of those bikes where you either really like it for its flaws or you hate it for its flaws, and I want to find out whereabouts I reside with that, because I hold no loyalties to this bike. If I don't like it and I don't enjoy the experience of owning it, I will just sell it, because I know bikes that I do enjoy, and I have ridden bikes that would, you know, fulfill what I want from them. It's a bike to take it all in, which is, you know, a big part of why I enjoy motorcycling. I don't want, you know, a fast road bike for the sake of going fast on the road. To me, it's kind of pointless. If I wanted speed and adrenaline, I would get a track bike. What will be a challenge is getting used to this off-road, because my experience off-road is mountain bikes and my Grom. And this is significantly taller, longer, heavier, and more powerful than the Grom, which is funny because most people, I think, who end up with a Himalayan, they're taking a downgrade in power, but for me this is actually an upgrade. I've got to say, I can't comment on the standard suspension because this has been changed, but this is wonderfully comfortable on the road, and this seat is very squishy too. It will just chug along, this bike, as well. We're in 4th gear at the moment, went about 20 miles an hour around that corner, and it's got the pickup. If we knock it into 5th, speed limit's about to change to 50. Yeah, it will just thump along and hold the gear, which is cool. I'll just give it a little roll on in 5th here. Yeah, it's just picking up and going, which is fun. We'll go up to 50, didn't have to change gear. So yes, it's low power, but the way the power is delivered on this engine, it doesn't feel like you have to wring its neck, which is nice. And I think is an integral part of the character that everybody's been telling me this bike has. I've noticed at speed, the wind protection from the standard screen's very good for my height, which is nice. It's nice to be able to cruise along at 60-70 miles an hour without getting completely battered. I do feel like on the footrest my heels are being kicked out a little bit, mainly on the exhaust side, but that's not really a problem. It's just kind of an observation. It's something to get used to. All bikes are going to have nuances to get used to. The most significant reason why I ended up with this bike is the cost. I've kind of learned over the years now, through being privileged to have some cool stuff, is that owning expensive toys is not fun, really, in many ways. You know, if this thing was worth 10 grand, I don't think it would go on the adventures that I'm going to put it through. I think there's a lot to be said for a bike that is cheap, or a car that is cheap. You know, my daily driver is probably worth less than £1,000, and it's one of the reasons why I like it so much. It's nice not being over leveraged on something that is just a toy. And you know, there's no monthly payment with this. So yeah, absolutely undeniable levels of value on this. This was, I'll tell you, this is 2022 Euro 5 model, so it's the last of the Himalayans, the 411s anyway, and it had just over 4,000 miles on it, full service history, absolutely immaculate condition. Can't really find a mark on it, and it was £2,350, and it came with some extras as well. So what bike can you get that meet those requirements, that kind of money? I considered like an old Dual Sport or something, but I just don't want to deal with an old bike and old bike problems. That lovely roll on power, it encourages you to short shift this bike. which is the opposite of most machines I've owned, not motorbikes only, but cars too. I usually have stuff that encourages you to rev the knackers off of it. I can feel myself getting very used to this bike quite quickly. I wanted to take it on a little bit of a road ride before venturing off-road. But yeah, it feels long, but with that comes stability. Yeah, up to 60, no problem. Without even revving it to red line. I thought I was going to be really disappointed with the power, but so far I can say that I'm not. And what I'm interested to find out is what the suspension in particular is like off-road, because I actually really enjoy taking my Grom off-road because it's so light and unintimidating. But the biggest drawback with it is its small wheels and its lack of suspension. So this has got the opposite of that. So I imagine it's gonna give me a very different experience off-road. Fourth gear, roll on, not even full throttle, now we are into fifth, roll on, oh, horses, clutch in and shut up. Yeah, it does have some agility to it. I like that the centre of gravity is low. That's a big one for me, because I want to have the confidence to just take it places off-road. I don't want to have to be concerned about how sketchy it feels because it's really top heavy, which I know that's the kind of experience I would get with something like a T7. And I don't have the ability to ride a bike like that properly. One of the cool things about the Enfield as well is that it's kind of ready out of the box for a lot of things. You know, it's already got the luggage rack, it's already got the crash bars on the front. Yeah, in many ways it's a complete package for trails and travel, which is what I want to do. Mic, check. 1, 2, error. 0. Nice. Very cool.